Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. Jingle bells, and jingle bell rock. Seeing how many Christmas carols I know. Hey everyone, thank you for watching. In this episode, we're going to discuss 5 tips to ensure that you stay sober over the holiday season. As you can see, I'm in Christmas cheer mode, and I'm looking forward to it. But you could be at risk of relapse if you are not well prepared, and those are what we are going to discuss in today's episode. Enjoy the show. Here we are, Real Recovery Talk. I am your host, Tom Conrad. Thank you for watching, and thank you for watching on YouTube in particular. And also, thank you for listening on the podcast app. If this content is in fact bringing you value, please share it with somebody. If you are a loved one or you know somebody that has some sort of addiction problem, feel free to share it with them. It is very important, and ultimately what we are doing is turning your mess into your message. Now, you can also reach out to myself and Ben at realrecoverytalk.com and Tom at realrecoverytalk.com, and we will promptly get back to you. Now, we will ask you for your phone number, and so we can have some sort of phone conversation. Okay, now, in today's episode, as you can see, I have my Christmas attire. I have my green shirt. I have my little snowmen and my Christmas truck and my Christmas trees and my Christmas lighting. It's the Christmas season. Now, we're not to Thanksgiving yet, so we have obviously a little bit of time left before Christmas, but we are in fact in the holiday season, and gatherings start happening right around this time. Families are now discussing what Thanksgiving dinner is going to look like, what Christmas Day is going to look like, who's hosting, stuff like that. Where are people going to travel to, so on and so forth. And for somebody that's newly sober, it can be a very stressful and risky time of year. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to discuss 5 things that you can do to ensure you stay sober during the next couple of months. Because think about it, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, and then you have New Year's. And so you have essentially 2 months of a lot of get-togethers, a lot of family gatherings, a lot of opportunities to drink and use drugs. And so you got to make sure that you are prepared for that and you know how to handle it when it does in fact come your way. So let's just get right into it. Point number 1 that I want to bring up is be transparent with everybody. Okay, so chances are, like I said at the beginning, now is the time when families are starting to plan out what Christmas is going to look like, what Thanksgiving is going to look like. There's discussions being had, whether it be through big group chats or Facebook Messenger or phone calls. Families are starting to interact more. And they're talking about what this is going to look like. And it can be a good opportunity for you to be transparent with people. There is a possibility that you have gone to treatment over the past 6, 8, 10 months, and you are going to be spending Christmas time with maybe some family members that don't know that you went to treatment. They don't know that you're now sober. Maybe, in fact, they're thinking, well, you know, Tom's coming to Christmas, make sure we have enough beer for him. But now you're sober. Now's the time to be transparent with everybody and let them know, hey, you know, I have X amount of time sober now, and I really do want to spend time with the family, and I do want to enjoy the holidays with everybody. But I do want to share with you my sort of stipulations, or not stipulations, but requests, and put it out there. I think one of the biggest things is that people feel shame and guilt around the fact that they're an addict or an alcoholic. And in this time of year, you need to harness that and be proud of it in the sense of you're now sober, and people need to know that you're sober so they can kind of plan accordingly. And if the family is functional in the sense of it's a healthy family dynamic, they're going to respect that and they will do whatever they can do to ensure that they don't put you at risk. Now, I don't think you need to go in there and say, hey, listen, in order for me to come to Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas, you can't have any alcohol. That's unfair. Now, if the family's willing to do that, sure, but that's setting expectations for the family that it's not fair to them. And at that point, it may just be better that you don't go. And that's the honest truth, at least from my perspective, in my opinion. I never want people to totally derail their plans and change everything just for me. Now, maybe there's other ways to go about it. I'm going to come to Thanksgiving, but just want to let you know, I'm only going to stay there, till 6 or 7 o'clock at night because, from past experiences, after, everything's cleaned up, then people start to party, drinking picks up and, card games, whatever. So maybe you tell them, hey, I'm going to come and I'm going to do the dinner and I'm going to spend time with you guys, but I'm going to leave at 6, 7 o'clock just to be safe. And, because I don't really want to be around all the alcohol, but I also want you guys to enjoy yourself. And so that's what I'm going to do. And they'll respect that. And if the family is not in a healthy dynamic or it's a dysfunctional family and they don't want to respect that and they try and force you to stay, then you don't go altogether. All right. So that's point number one. I want you to be transparent with everybody. Let them know what's going on and don't hide behind some sort of veil. Be proud of your sobriety. Be proud of the fact that you're a new person. You're no longer drinking and drugging, and let everybody know. All right, point number 2 is I want you to set boundaries not only with yourself, but with your families and your friends and your loved ones. And I kind of touched on this in point number 1. More setting boundaries with yourself. That can mean a couple of different things. Like I said, set time limits, set parameters around how long you're going to be there. And don't go outside of that, especially if you have past experiences with the way that these days work. If it's Thanksgiving or Christmas and at 7 o'clock they're breaking out the whiskey or the scotch and, Johnny over here likes to fire up a joint or whatever the case is. And you, from past experiences, that's what happens. And set boundaries. Hey, I'm going to get there at 3. I'm going to stay till 7. I'm going to enjoy the family and I'm getting out. And set that with yourself and understand that you have to live by that. Set boundaries with your family. Like I covered in point number 1, tell them what you are going to do. Set the expectations on the front end. That way, when dinner's done and everything's cleaned up, you just don't say, okay, see you guys later. It's not fair to them. They're going to think, well, what did we do wrong? Why is he leaving so quick? We just finished eating, yada, yada, yada. Set the expectations, set the boundaries, and live by it and follow it. All right, point number 3 is I want you to identify supports within the next couple of months. And depending on how much traveling you're doing, if you're going out of state, if you're going to see family, out of state. I'm from Florida here, and if I were going to travel to see family, which I'm not, I would be traveling to Pennsylvania/Ohio. I'm like right on the border. A lot of situations are different for people in the sense of maybe your family is all located in one area. Maybe there's going to be traveling or you have to travel. But identify the supports that you have available to you. Now, I'm a 12-step guy. I think that is the easiest option because there's meetings all over the place. That could be Alcoholics Anonymous. That could be Narcotics Anonymous. That can be Cocaine Anonymous. There's a ton of different 12-step anonymous programs out there. Find them. Do your research. If you're traveling to Pennsylvania for Thanksgiving and you're landing at X time and dinner is this day at this time, kind of do some research and find a couple of meetings that are in the area that you can go to. And make sure that, again, going back to point number 2, boundaries, let your family know, hey, I'm going to be there for these days from this time to this time, but I am, just so you're aware, going to be going to this meeting on this day and this day. That way they know what's going on and kind of what to expect. So make sure you identify the support programs around you, but also identify the people that potentially are going to be at Thanksgiving or Christmas that are the sober people. Now, maybe they are not, in fact, addicts or alcoholics and they're in recovery. They just choose not to drink and they choose not to use drugs. Hang out with those people. Those are going to be a form of support for you, because just because they're not in a 12-step program and not in recovery doesn't mean that, they're not sober people. They're not drinking, they're not drugging, so they're obviously by nature going to be the best person for you to hang out with. Identify who those people are before you go. Identify all of your supports. And in regards to supports, try and have your own vehicle, because you want to be able to have an escape plan. You want to be able to leave whenever you want. You don't want to have to rely on somebody to, take you wherever. So try, if possible, to have your own transportation, and also try and have your own sleeping arrangements or your own kind of place that you can go and relax, whether that be an Airbnb, a hotel. Don't stay somewhere where there's going to be constant alcohol there and stuff like that. It just puts you at high risk. So that's point number 3, identify your supports. Point number 4 is simply, you can say no to any of this. You are an adult. You know what is best for you and your recovery and how you can best sustain your recovery. Do not ever feel pressured into doing something that you don't feel comfortable doing. If it's a family event, Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they're really harping you about coming, but it's risky for you, say no and don't feel bad about it. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't have to feel bad that you're not going. Well, I haven't seen them all year. I really should go. Forget it. You're putting yourself at too much high risk and stress, and it's just not worth it. Weigh out that risk versus reward. Am I going to risk everything that I have built up over the past couple of weeks, months, years to potentially have the reward of what? You're going to go there. It's going to, for a day, it's super high stress. You don't enjoy it while you're there. No, ultimately, you can say no to any of this. All right, and the last point is point number 5. If you do choose to travel or spend time with your family and friends during the holidays, remember why you are there. I think it's a very cool time of year, no pun intended. It's not cool here in Florida, but it is a nice time. Families get together, friends get together, people that may not see each other for the whole entire year. There is a lot of opportunity there to build relationship with families, with your family members that you don't speak to. Ultimately, remember why you are there. You are there to spend time with your family, with your friends. And the cool thing is, this year, you're now a sober person. You're seeing all this through sober eyes, and there's really something to that. I remember when I got to spend Christmas and the holidays and early recovery with my family, it meant something different. I had more enjoyment out of it. I wasn't seeing the past when I was drinking and drugging. I was always waiting for things to end so I could get out of there and go to the bar. The bars I drank at, there were no holidays. You didn't take off. They didn't close the bars for nothing. They were always open. So I could finish Thanksgiving, head down to the bar, and that's where my true friends were. But when I got sober, it became different, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed spending time with my family, and I was seeing things through sober eyes. So keep things into perspective. Understand it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's family, it's cheer, it's joy, and so on and so forth. And I think that you'll have a different perspective on it, and I hope that you do. All right, so I hope you got something out of that. Just 5 simple steps to ensure that you stay sober through the holidays. There's obviously many more that you can sprinkle in there, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to keep it short. So In the end, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to myself or Ben, Tom at realrecoverytalk.com and Ben at realrecoverytalk.com. And in the end, we want to help you turn your mess into your message. That is it. We will see y'all later.